welcome to another episode on Awaz-e-Haqiqat, which is the voice of the truth. I am your host, Chris Malika Bhadra, and today or tonight, depending on whichever part of the world you're watching me or listening to me from, I will be talking to one of the organizations based in Victoria or Melbourne. It's called Australian Tamil Sangam. Believe me, they do a lot of good work about Tamil migrants. They do a lot of work for senior citizens, uplifting the Tamilian community in Victoria and Melbourne. And today I'm joined by one of their founders and the assistant treasurer of Australian Tamil Sangam, Kumaravel Nadarajah. As a hardworking family man, he really enjoys innovative teaching more than any other career. His career progressed from an enthusiastic educator to an effective senior education specialist and then chief examiner for chemistry in South Africa. He has been teaching physically in Asia, Africa, and Australia, and also virtually in many other countries. At present, he is a registered teacher in Victoria, teaching all mathematics, physics, and chemistry for various curriculum, such as VCE and IB. He is a multipotentiality person having knowledge, skills, and hand-on experience in various fields. It is very hard to list a field which is not touched by himself. He has also been involved in many community empowerment projects, and as I mentioned before, he is one of the founding members and the assistant treasurer of Australian Tamil Sangam. On that note, a very good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Sir, before we started this recording, you were saying something about your teaching experience in South Africa. Why don't we start from what happened in South Africa, how you helped people there?
Also, you want me to start with South African experience?
Yes.
Okay. So I had been, I have migrated to South Africa in 1983, so long ago. So when I was age 23, and I have started my career as a simple teacher. So I migrated to a South African country called Lesotho. So where I have been teaching. From there, I migrated to South Africa, the present the Republic of South Africa, where I started my teaching career. Then I have done my master's degree in computer-based education from Rhodes University. Then my thesis was published in one of the journal or whatever. Then that one of the ministers over there, education minister, he appointed me as the director for ICT curriculum, but it was not materialized because of the opposition coming from the teachers and others, because they don't want the computer-based education or whatever. Today they regret, because that is the thing, it is taking place everywhere.
Yeah.
I started that one in year 2000. Then I have been promoted as a chief examiner for chemistry, and I had been doing as a senior education specialist. This is my right now work oriented profile or whatever. So I also help a lot of Sri Lankan Tamil people to get migration to South Africa.
Yeah.
They all were placed in the teaching positions. So I had been helping them, and not only helping them, I have been providing them shelters. I had been providing them how to cook. I am, I am some sort of a chef, right? I can, cook, Sri Lankan dishes.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. But sadly, the educational standard in South Africa is very low. That is a second from the bottom, right?
Okay.
So it is teaching, especially the majority of the Black people is very hard. South Africa was, affected by the apartheid, that discrimination and whatever. But that is that has been in place while I was in South Africa, and until 1994. After 94, gradually, or suddenly, the apartheid has gone.
Yeah.
It is inverted, right? It means, the white minority is becoming as, Black majority hand, the political, whatever. That's just a brief about South Africa. Yep.
Thank you, sir. So you are a personality who dons many hats. You are a chef, you teach, you give them computer skills. So you have many skills on your plate. That's great to know, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
So coming to Australian Tamil Sangam, sir, my next question is, when was this founded and what was the initial vision when this organization was founded?
It was founded in July 2022 by a group of people to achieve our vision. I'm going to list our vision and that one. But it has been initiated by the current patron, Mr. Leo Pillai. He came to me and he told about this is the one, right? We want to achieve. These are the visions we have to achieve. And there is a need, right? For a Tamil Sangam or Tamil organization. They can cater for the following vision. The vision, I can say, number one, and we know our language, Tamil, is one of the oldest living language in the world. And it is our responsibility or duty to protect our language, right, together with our art, culture, etc. So that is one of the visions. And also we are putting very strong foundation for the younger generation in Australia and make them to learn the language as well as acquainted with our art, culture, and continue to pass to the next generation. So that is the next or whatever, right? Thing. And also we realized that seniors are vulnerable people, but experienced people. And it is our duty to look after them and providing them with necessary skills and services. Okay. And we have intention to assist the migrants or refugees or asylum seekers to connect with the multicultural community. We are in the coordinating process in that one, right? How we can coordinate them, right, to get amalgamated with that multicultural community, right? So we are also intending to create or provide opportunity for women or young people to get involved in the community work. And for that purpose, we have started subcommittees. Subcommittees have been created to make the vision to get achieved. We have proposals to create a virtual library. Right. The virtual library concept, it means, right, we can have textbooks, also skill, technical, and whatever virtual. So anyone can have access from their home, right, the books. Or if we have money or if we have funds and we have a bigger vision of getting a museum to, we have, whatever. I also have some sort of a treasure of, right, a Tamil, what is called traditional medicine. It has been created by grandfather. Wow. He's 120 years old of manuscript, right? I still have. That is, even if you have millions, you can't get that one, right? It is practiced very well. So those type of Tamil things can be in a museum or whatever. And in the past, so this is our vision when we started. So in the past, we had activities like Tamil Pongal Festival. Yeah. And usually happened in January. That is in 2022 and 2023. And this year, on the 21st of April, we had blood donation. Okay. To the, and also we had an activity called Clean Up Australia on the 3rd of March, right? Yeah. And also we had tree planting with Cannibal Land Group in Garfield on the 5th of May. Okay. And in future, we are going to have events, that is Work Refugee Week with Cardinia Share Council. That is going to take place on the 22nd of June. Hopefully I will come over. Then we are also planning to have a Tamil Flag Festival on the 1st December with the TBC. And also we have a tree planting, right? That is on the 8th of June and the 16th of June.
I think, sir, I saw some of the photos of the tree plantation and the Clean Up Australia on Facebook because I follow your organization's page. I saw some photos. And
Okay.
one question, sir, you mentioned about the virtual library. So all the books that are going to be available in the library, will they all be in Tamil language, right?
No, not necessarily,
Okay.
because yeah, right. Tamil books as well as English textbooks and whatever reference book they need for any technical or whatever,
They'll be
even some guidance
Hmm.
for how to deal with a legal matter, how to deal with a certain
Hmm. Hmm.
problem or whatever. Everything is going
Will
to
be
be
available.
documented, yeah,
Absolutely.
and kept in the library.
Very
Good, thanks. Right.
That's a lot of things that Australian Tamil Sangam is doing. My next question, sir, you briefly answered, but I still would like you to elaborate is, senior citizens form a big part of our community when it comes to roots, culture, tradition. What are some of the ways by which you provide more assistance so that they feel a part of our culture once they migrate to Australia?
Senior migrants or
Hmm.
senior citizens, right? They have language barrier,
Yes.
language and communication support. We
Hmm.
provide, their documents translated.
Yes.
And if they have wills or if they have power of attorney document
Hmm.
or legal notices or any offense or whatever. So when it is written in English, they have problems. And we, allocate some people or we assign some people to go through those things and explain them in Tamil.
Yeah.
And so that is whatever, or in other words, right? Other way around, right? It means if a document is in Tamil, we translate them and
Sure.
give them in English. That is one of the things, right? We are doing with, and we also organize transport services, and we wish to have a bus or whatever. So we organize buses or whatever to arrange transportation for them for events. So
Hmm.
otherwise, senior citizens will be left behind. So if they want to go for an event, right, any cultural event or Pongal event or whatever, right, we have to do that. And also their well-being is, right, cared. That means the health check. We call them once a week, or talk to them casually and asking how are they doing
Hmm.
and what is they up to, right, whatever, right,
Yeah.
and sometimes we just discuss, the food is medicine, medicine is food, some
Hmm.
sort of, that concept. And also we have tea catch up twice a year,
Hmm.
organizing a network among the senior members. We come together as a group, as a pool, working and creating recreation activities and making them to participate in the recreation activities. So that is basically what we are doing with the
Amazing.
senior members.
That's amazing. So I think
Right.
every country needs to think about their senior members because often when we have our parents, I'm a Bengali, so I've seen that parents feel left out because they don't know anyone. We are busy, so they feel very closeted here.
Of course, yeah,
So the
yeah.
work that you're doing, that I think we need that so that our parents feel comfortable when they migrate, if they choose to migrate. Um,
Okay.
um, so the next question that I have is, new migrant families with young kids, when they migrate, they have face a lot of initial issues. So in your experience with Australian Tamil Sangam, sir, what are some of these issues that these families face when they're trying to move to a new suburb or where they just migrated?
And we don't have the records.
Hmm.
That is, who are the new migrants,
Yeah.
where they are,
Hmm.
unless they contact us.
Hmm.
And we don't have the visibility
Hmm.
of who are they, right? Where are they located, right? And until they approach us through someone or while we meet them and talk to them in an event or whatever, until then they don't know, right? There's an organization, there are people there to help us. So if they are connected to us, then proactively identify their needs and we take care for them. So that is number one, right? The problem is we don't have the records.
Yeah.
So that is a major stumbling block, right? And everyone is busy these days, with their work or their family or whatever. So as a result, it takes time to catch up with them. right? Even if we assign some of them to go and talk to them, it will take time. And for them also, it takes time to adapt the Australian culture.
Right.
They come. And one of the issues is lack of communication. As a result, the information is not passed to them, right, regarding the multicultural events,
Yeah.
or passed at a very short notice, making them lack of participation. They can't participate, right, if the notice is given yesterday to participate like today, right? So we proactively call them and ask them to participate events. That's what in the past. And also we have done created a WhatsApp group.
Right.
It has about 300 people.
Wow, that's amazing.
All local, state, and okay. So whatever local or state or federal government news is passed, the events and whatever, to the group, we keep adding new people into this group. So make sure the information reaches to this community in good time. That is the way. And there is a glitch of this news or whatever it is in English. So some people, they can't read it. So that is another thing. But otherwise, if they read, but they can at least see the date, at least see the time. So they can see the picture. So they know there's an event going to take place. And also we are using the social media channels to communicate with them.
That's amazing.
And their challenges are employment challenges.
Yes.
We advise them and provide information about the job vacancy. When there's a vacancy, or when in our community there's a vacancy arises, then we communicate with them. We encourage them to apply, because some of them they say, right, I am not fit and I'm not going to get a job or whatever, right, this is the pessimistic, right, view. So we say no, we encourage them, right, you can get the job. If possible, we provide training and technical support. Example, right, the power tools, right, they never seen in Sri Lanka or wherever. So here we just show them, right, especially myself, I have power tools, and also I have an ability to machinery work and whatever. So when they see, and when they touch and when they get experience, then they get confidence. Then they go for the job and they say, right, sir, I can do this job.
Right.
So,
Right.
like that. So that type of employment challenges. And the next one is a huge challenge. I don't think I can elaborate much. That is a housing. Housing is a big challenge. It is very hard for them to find a house without prehistory, because they ask prehistory. They can't have it, right? Initially, they start with sharing accommodation, with someone, and we also inquire, right, who can share with them and whatever. Gradually, they move to their private accommodation or their own accommodation. If someone is willing to share a house, right, they are, if they are happy to share, right, we are willing to introduce some people, and we try to coordinate with them for a short period until they get a job, a decent job and a house, right, Okay, so those are the things.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
very good, sir. One thing I wanted to ask you, sir, you mentioned about the WhatsApp group that has close to 300 members. Is it just for Victorian-based residents, or is it overall Australia?
Actually, anyone can join, but overall, but most of them are Victorians.
Victorian. Okay.
Yeah.
So you picked up a very good point, is employability, right? We all know employment, when we are fresh migrants, employment is a big factor. But language also becomes a huge barrier. You've touched that earlier also, that language is a barrier and then employment is a barrier. So does Australian Tamil Sangam assist these migrants in gaining proficiency over their language as well?
Yeah, we are trying to help them, right? But the problem is there are two types of migrants. Skilled migrants, under the skilled migration, if they have migrated here, they don't have a language barrier. Only their problem is the accent, because some of the Australian words they don't know. For example, buddy, cool, right? Like that, right? But otherwise, they have grammatical, the proper, English they have. Unskilled migrants have really barrier because of the language proficiency. We are helping them by organizing language classes. We encourage them to go to AIMS or whatever, right? 500 hours free class, and providing them appropriate information to empower them to achieve language proficiency.
Right.
And chatting and communicating with them to follow instructions in English. When we do using basic English words, this is another approach, repeatedly for them to master in the language.
Yeah.
One thing, like some of them they know, but they are very shy to talk in English, right? Because they have a fear whether their language is correct or not correct or whatever. So we encourage them to do that. This is a big task, right? It's not easy, and we don't have much time right now. Only the people they can, they can do this task. They don't have much time. So we are looking for people who can assist in that on a volunteer basis or whatever.
Amazing, sir. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And one last question, sir, before we wrap up is racism is an issue, right, sir? So have you ever, or has the organization ever come across cases where migrants have come up to you and said that I experienced mild form of racism here, there's anywhere? And if you have received these cases, how does the organization deal with these instances?
Oh, I wouldn't say it is racism. I can put it in another word,
Sure.
discrimination. Right? Because you already said racism is there, right? Racism is all over. But that is the stereotyping, right? Even everybody prefers to say, they are stereotyping and saying that nation is the best or whatever. But that is in the human nature. But the racism is still there, or discrimination is there. The external racism, right? The community members, exclude migrants from social activities or community events. Whenever there's a community event, so they say, this community event, they are not comfortable, when someone is coming with a different color or different culture or different language. That is one of them, even if it's directly, there's no discrimination. Indirectly, there is a discrimination, So in jobs, they are biased, For example, if there's a job, even if someone is highly qualified, if you are not, English, native English speaking person, you are, left behind in there. So in interviews, skin and the color and the culture is very much, playing a role in employment process. That's a challenge. And some people, they get verbal or physical harassment in public places. Sometimes they say, oh, you are taking curry subjects, curry subjects means, Indian, whatever. I take. It is just an insult. Maybe I'm just saying, it's like that. So that is external, what is called discrimination. Internal racism or internalized racism, feeling pressurized to abandon their own cultural identity is not being accepted. That is one thing. And adapting prejudices against other migrant groups as a means of seeking acceptance from their host community. We all. And used to say, this is one thing. In South Africa also I did, and here also I am just saying, this is my personal thing.
Sure.
In South Africa, I used to talk to the white people and say, you have migrated, centuries ago. We migrated decades ago. That is the only difference. Otherwise, we all are migrants.
Yes.
But this land belongs to the black people there, in South Africa. The same thing in Australia as well, So the superior white community or elite group, I used to tell them, oh, you migrated only few hundred, a few centuries ago, and we just migrated some decades ago. But we all are humans. We have our whatever. So that is what I used to say. So there is, but in the intellectual community, the racism or what's called the discrimination is very rare. But actually in the rural setup, like the farms and whatever, then the racism is very high. You know, the migrated people, if they want to get a farm work or dairy farm or whatever, they have problems of getting the employment because they don't understand their language and they don't, they talk, different type of Australian style language. So that is one another thing.
Aspect, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. This was a very holistic conversation that you shared with me about the work that Australian Tamil Sangam does for the senior citizens, the next generation, and the new migrants. So before we kind of close off the conversation, what would be your message to, for example, say any new migrant is listening to you, what would be your message to them?
I will say you are really fortunate in many aspects being migrated to Australia. Number one, safety. The safety is very good in Australia. And number two, world-class education is possible. Number two. Third, the health. Your health is looked after very well. And employment opportunities, because this is a well-resourced country and it's a vast country. So it is, the population density is very low. So you have, employment opportunities, whatever, the minerals and whatever. And by any means, right, if you are not employed or if you can't work, the social help is there and many more. Okay. And also I tell them opportunities are endless in well-resourced Australia. That is what I say. Starting the life is a bit challenging, but you will attain your goal and lead a prosperous life right in future. Not only for yourself, your children. If you are talking about children, this is the best country I can say, right? That is the reason, right?
Absolutely.
And Australia, workaholism is not a psychological disorder in Australia. Australians are very dedicated to their work. You have to adjust and adapt. Then the sky is the limit. Already. Yeah.
So I would also like to add that in Australia, I've seen a very good work-life balance in most of the situations. Somewhere maybe there's little misbalance, but usually what I've seen around me is people maintain that work-life balance. So something to add on to your points as well. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving me your time. And to our listeners, so this was Kumaravel Nadarajah, one of the founding members of Australian Tamil Sangam. If you want any more of the details, their website is listed on Cardinia Shire Council's website. Please have a look, and if you want to reach them, if you want to get in touch with them, their details are also mentioned on the website as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you for what you're doing for the community. And I wish you all the best, and please keep in touch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.